Electric Boogaloo Part 2. We're playing some Esper Reanimator today. It's just me, there's no one else in here. I wanted to try out Preordain in a more mid-rangey shell. We tried it with Grixis Death Shadow previously, and though we only went 2-3 in that league, I think a lot of that had to do with my skill as a pilot of Death Shadow. I'm not a Death Shadow specialist. I think if you're very good, or at least moderately good at playing the archetype, you should probably try the list that I played in that last video. This time I wanted to play, this is a lot like Hyper's list. If you want to check that out, there's a card for you somewhere. I think it would be right here, watching on YouTube. Where I tried 4-color Reanimator, and I really liked the deck. I think we secured a 3-2. I want to play that list some more, but I wanted to try out just a straight up Esper version. We're still doing the domain thing, so I decided to pair Ragran Triome with Zagoth for this particular list, mainly because I'm very comfortable with it. I play it in blue-white all the time, but it makes leyline binding very good. And also, initially I thought maybe I'm supposed to do something like Esper Triome, like Rafine's Tower, plus, say, Jetmir's Garden, but then the off-color Triome only adds one color you want. If you split it Ragran and Zagoth, you can kind of treat it like a Hollow Fountain Plus and a Watery Grave Plus, which I liked a lot. And then the deck is very close to Hypers. You've got Griefs, Solitudes, Ephemerates to do the whole scam thing, the Archaeologist, which impressed the hell out of me last time I played it. Persist, obviously. Archon of Cruelty is the big payoff. The Troll is going to do the thing where you can cycle it and persist it later. And then Preordain is the card we're trying out today. I'm not totally convinced that this is the card that this deck wants, but I gotta know. I really want to try out Preordain because it will let us do things like put together the Grief Scam a little bit more efficiently, or it'll just be a really good like mid-game top deck if we need like a Persist or something. I think that'll just help us get our cards better. Since we're lacking Fable of the Mirror Breaker in this list, I want to try out Soren's Ransom and its spot. I'm just playing 2 of them, but the cards that you don't take are put into the graveyard, so I think you gotta try it. And then over in the sideboard, nothing has changed too much. I actually really liked Hyper's configuration. I did cut down 1 Spell Pierce, he played 3, and then I cut to 1 Verdict because I don't know if the strategy really needs it. I just wanted to sneak 2 Subtleties in for the Tron matchup. Other than that, that's everything you should need to know, so let's go ahead and hop into a modern league. Alright, looks like we won the die roll, which is incredibly hype. I'm very excited to play this deck again. And it looks like we get to open with the Grief Scam. We unfortunately... Maybe we just pitch Archon. I'm looking at this hand, and I think I really want the Troll to be able to cycle. And actually, I need to do this really quick. This is something I've been meaning to do. Let's make my hand a little bit bigger so you can see the cards in it a little bit better. But the thing I really want to do is like pitch cast this Grief and then Ephemerate it. But if I pitch the Troll, I forego having access to the blue color of mana. There's more Archons in my deck. I think I need to pitch the Archon, so we're going to try that. But yeah, opening up on Grief Scam, sign me up. Go to 5, opponent. Aw, they kept 7. That sucks. Okay, we'll shock in the Godless Shrine. We will cast by exiling Archon. When this comes into play, we'll stack it like this so the evoke trigger happens second. We'll take a look at the opponent's hand, and it looks like fish. What does that mean? It means we're definitely taking Aether Vial because their hand's full of 2-drops. And then we're going to Ephemerate the Grief. And then we can take... probably just a Lord, and then we take the second Lord. Do we just like shred their hand of Lords, or do we take the Silver Gills so they can't replace them? I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and just take the Lords. Let's take Lord of Atlantis. There we go. Grief does its thing, and that's all I got. Go, opponent. Love a good Grief Scam. Play land. I assume you don't have anything else. All right, my turn again. Looks like I get to Ephemerate, and I'm going to do that. Boop. Target Grief. Alright, show me what you got. What'd you draw? Ooh, Voldaren Hexcatcher? Man, they drew all the good cards, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and take, I guess, Hexcatcher. Hexcatcher's going to be the most annoying. I'm glad I was able to nab that. And we get to play the Archaeologist, so we'll go ahead and fetch. Shock for a Watery Grave. And drop the Archaeologist. Show me something good, Archaeologist. Please don't whiff. I need a spell here pretty badly. Soren's Ransom. Great, perfect. Take it. And then pass turn. Alright, Cavern, what are we going to do? Just play a Lord here or a Silvergill Adept to start the cantrip train? Look like it's just a Silvergill Adept, so we'll start the clock with our Grief. Just deal 3 to him every turn. Fish might be a trickier matchup. We definitely want our Verdict here for sure. Probably Engineered Explosives on 2 would be nutty as well. Alright, draw Leyline Binding. Not bad. I really think I want to resolve the Soren's Ransom pretty badly though. And this is probably the time to do it. What I'll do is I'll get busy with Grief. Take 3. And then I'll probably just ransom them on their turn. That's how I want to do that. That way they can't like pitch cast a Force of Negation or anything like that. So they drew another Cavern. It's probably time to play a Lord. Okay, you got a Master. I probably just take the hit for 3, or am I supposed to just Binding the Master of the Pearl Trident here? You know, I actually don't hate casting Binding on the Master, then I can block the Silvergill Adept for the rest of the game. Or until they find one of their other 12 Lords. I think I can set it up better though, because if I use the Troll to cycle, I can spend less mana. Yeah, I think I take this first hit and then I cast Sorin's Ransom. Because then I can use the Troll, say tap Plains to Island cycle it, but I go get either one. Probably Ragran Triome, or here I think it doesn't matter, because I got white, and I'm getting a blue, so I probably just get, yeah, Ragran, Zagoth, whichever I see first. And I put that into play, and then my Binding will only cost 2. All right, I dropped 12. Now I'm going to cast Sorin's Ransom. Black, Sorin's Ransom. Don't counter this. Show me cards. Yeah. Notably, the cards I don't take are going to the graveyard, so that's kind of cool. So they're going to give me Preordain plus 2 lands, or my Mystery card. Well, whatever the Mystery card is, it's probably about as good in my graveyard as it is in my hand. I think I'll just take the big pile. Cool. Great. And then, oh, I get to pick a Ring Bearer? Imagine that. It's Grief. All right, my turn. Persist for free? Let's get busy first. Beat with the Grief. Bring him down to 14. Now, I could actually have my cake and eat it here. One of the things I did with my mana base is I left an off-color shock land in my deck. In this case, it was Sacred Foundry. Meaning that if I fetch and shock for Sacred Foundry, I will drop to 9, but I'll be able to cast a 2-mana Leyline Binding in addition to persisting. And I think the best way to do that is probably going to be to persist a Grief first to make sure they don't have any trick, and then take out their Master. I think that's what we want to do. So let's go ahead and go white. Is there a chance I'm going to want to cast this Preordain? Doesn't super matter. I'll be getting Sacred Foundry, so yeah, I can just tap this for black. Persist, Grief. All right, Grief comes into play with a -1/-1 counter. Show me your hand. 2 Silvergills, so we'll take one of them, and then we'll play Marsh Flats, fetch, shock in Sacred Foundry, go to 9, but we'll play Binding, tapping for white and whatever, and we'll take out the Master. See ya. And then we get to cast Preordain next turn, which could be very good depending. So we'll just pass for now. Hopefully they don't just draw like another Island Walk Lord. That would be very bad for us, because that clock would be kind of fast. Fiery Islet. Was that already in their hand? No, I think they're going to draw it and crack it. Now what? If you find another fish, I guess you can cycle a Silvergill Adept. That's not the worst for me. I'd be cool with that. Looks like they're just going to pass, which tells me, what do they got? A Voldaren Hexcatcher maybe? Because they're not casting their other Silvergill, and I know they have one more. Let's start by casting Preordain. I guess we can just play an island and do that. Yeah, we'll play island, cast Preordain. Preordain count is at 1. Dismember my dude, that's fine. They're just going to dismember Grief. That's, yeah, I don't really care about that. Let's put this on the bottom, and I guess, are we cool drawing a Faithful Mending? Nah, I don't think it's what we're looking for. We'll put that on the bottom as well. We'll draw a Flooded Strand. Then I guess we can play the Archaeologist. Trigger the Archaeologist, take a Faithful Mending, cool. We've already played land, so we unfortunately can't use this Faithful Mending yet, but we can go to combat, hit them for 2, they can't really stop me, and then pass the turn. At the end of their turn, we'll probably just cycle this Troll. I'm not really super happy with just spending 6 mana to hardcast it here. Maybe that is the play though, I guess it depends on what they do. I think I'm gonna cycle it. I don't think I just want to like tap out. We'll get, if I grab Zagoth here, that puts me on Domain, which makes my bindings much better. Yeah, we'll just grab Zagoth. My turn. Another land, not great. We can take this moment to just cast Faithful Mending. Solitude in Leyline Binding? It's pretty good. I think we'll pitch Blooded Strand and Blooded Strand, and we'll just play this. So now our binding's alive. And we'll attack for 2, put them on that good old 4-turn clock, and these are our 2 best cards in the matchup by a lot. Like Solitude, Leyline Binding, just answer any threat that could possibly happen upon us. You love to see it. Don't play anything cool, opponent. Good. All right, that's all I got. Go. All right, our opponent's flooding out a little bit, which you love to see. Maybe play Sviolin with Sea and Sky, or their Silvergill Adept. Yep, Silvergill revealing Tide Shaper. Yeah, we don't really care about that. I guess it makes our binding like a little worse. Okay, there's Sviolin of Sea and Sky. We can take care of that with the binding. It can't really attack here, which is pretty great. So what we'll do is we'll cast Binding now, just to get it out of the way. Let's eat that Sviolin. All gone. And then we might just hardcast Solitude and get busy with Grief, because I don't really want them to block my Grief. I'll go, if they double block it, they lose both of their Merfolk, so maybe that's fine. We'll just take a draw step. Sorin's Ransom's pretty great. We'll get into combat, definitely attack for 2. If they'd like to like trade on a 2-for-1 basis, I'm totally comfortable with that. Yeah, they see it. It's got menace, dude. Take 2. Great. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just cast Ransom because I know they can't interact with it right now. So I can take Archon plus Troll or the bottom pile. How close are we to hard casting our Archon? 2 turns away with no lands. I'll just take pile 2. Ephemerate? Great. And then you will be my ring bearer. And then do I ephemerate right now? Probably doesn't super matter. I guess I can ephemerate them in their draw step and take their best card. Let's do that. I'll pass the turn. All right, they've drawn their card. I'll cast Ephemerate targeting my Grief. Show me what you drew. Sphylan and Tideshaper. Sphylan can go home. See ya. All right, go. If they're going to Tideshaper, they probably just hit Zagoth Triome. That's good. Do we Faithful Mending? Now that there's an Archon in our bin, I think we probably do. Oh, they're just going to hit the Sacred Foundry? Sure, who cares? All right, they pass to me. I will Faithful, because now the upside of hitting a Persist is super duper high. And we get a few tries to do it. No Persist here, but we'll pitch Archon and maybe just the Solitude, because we have this Ephemerate. Yeah, I just like the Ephemerate, to be honest. All right, my turn. We are going to cast this Ephemerate, and we're actually going to hit the Archaeologist. We're just going to keep giving ourselves chances to hit Persist. Leyline Binding? It's not a Persist, but I'll take it. All right, play Marsh Flats. We've got to stop in their draw step, so we're definitely going to Ephemerate Grief when we get to their draw step to take their last card if it's not a land. Or is it better to just Ephemerate the Archaeologist and try to hit Archon right now? I like just going all gas. Let's go ahead and Ephemerate the Archaeologist. Found ya. All right, we got to Persist. That worked out great. And then we'll just go black, blue, Persist. Where's my Archon? Archon? Sup, dude? All right, Archon triggers. They've got no card to discard, but they're gonna have to sacrifice a creature, drop down to 1. I'll attack with the Grief. They have to double block. They'll lose both of their creatures. The game comes to an abrupt end. This is a pretty easy game 1. I can't give myself very much credit though. Like the Grief Scam opener is pretty busted. All right, yeah, they just concede. What's good against Fish? They've got a billion 2-drop, so I think EE is good against Fish. I think Supreme Verdict's good against Fish, and I think Subtlety is probably pretty good against Fish. Teferi's probably medium, Force of Negation bad, Chalice, Nihil, none of those are any good. So these 5 are what we're looking at as being pretty reasonable. Looking at what we have to take out, I actually don't love taking out any of my cards. The whole deck looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I think Preordain might be a little bit awkward here. Not that it wouldn't be like just fine in the matchup, but I think it's the card that isn't like Sorin's Ransom might be a little bit slow against Fish. Might not be exactly what we're looking for, but then from there, you look at your other options and you've got like Ephemerate, which is gonna, I don't think I'm ever citing Ephemerate out in almost any matchup. And you've got Preordain, which is like, it's just a generically good card. It doesn't synergize with the deck necessarily. It just gives us access to the pieces we need a little bit more quickly than we would normally be able to gain access to them. Archaeologist, I think, is a central piece of the deck. Persist, great. Faithful Mending, great. Grief, great. Solitude, great. Binding, actively amazing. Troll, great. Archon, great. It's kind of awkward. I think we can maybe cut a Troll, just because, like, if we're going to Persist a Troll, they've got so much play around that. Like, they can... Troll's a bad blocker into this Island Walk deck. And we're on the draw, so we get 1 more card, so maybe we can cut, like, a Troll. And then from there, like, what are we doing? Shaving Preordain plus 1 other thing, maybe an Archon, because it's too big, but then we really sleep on the, like, get Archon into play as fast as possible plan. I think it's unfortunately just 2 Preordains. I don't love doing that since I'm here to play the card Preordain, but I think we're going to try that. This hand's almost nuts. If I had a way to put this Archon into the bin in this hand, I would 100% keep it, just based off of, like, turn 3 Archon probably just ending our opponent's entire career very quickly. But when you look at everything in isolation, the Persist doesn't currently have a target. The Archon is stuck in my hand. I don't even have a pitch card for the Subtlety. Binding is technically castable on turn 2, but I think that's a little bit clunky and slow. I think we're just not keeping any 7 that doesn't have some type of plan, so we'll mulligan that. And here we have Ephemerate, Solitude, Binding, Troll, Persist. This hand is much better. Solitude plus Ephemerate in this matchup is awesome. What don't we want? We can also turn 2 Persist. I think it's the Binding. I think the Binding's the most awkward card in our hand just because there's a basic plane, so Domain's a little bit far away. We're going to try this. Island Pass, I'll draw. Zagoth Triome. I really don't have much to do on turn 1 except for cycle the Troll. Maybe that's fine. Maybe I'm like totally down to just cycle the Troll and then Persist it if they don't do anything. I think that's fine. Let's do that. I'll go Plains, Pass. And if they like don't take any action, we're just going to like cycle Troll, probably get Watery Grave. And is it Watery Grave? Yeah, I think Watery Grave will be fine. Let's see, that shares with Zagoth. Maybe we actually get Hallowed Fountain? We can't, because Troll The troll only cycles for swamps. So probably Watery Grave, unfortunately. Silvergill Adept, that's fine. All right, we're just going for it here. Put clock in play. Swamp cycling, Watery Grave. My turn. Draw another persist, that's actually fine. Watery Grave shock. Black, this, persist, troll. Big beater? Sweet, go. We've got them on a 4-turn clock, which is like pretty fast. And if we ever draw a white card, we'll just Solitude Scam them. There's a Lord of Atlantis. So yeah, if we draw a white card here, we are, I think, just in the money. Dismember? Hate to see it. That happens. All right, so they got him. That's a big bummer. All right, F6, I've got nothing for you. All right, come on, top deck. Give me a white card. I can grief scam them right now. That seems like not the craziest thing ever, right? Rip their hand apart, and I've got my back pressed up against a, what, 3-turn clock? But there's still a Solitude in my hand, and I'm like 1 mana away from casting it. I think that that's the play. If I drew a white card, I'd obviously just pitch cast Solitude, ephemerate the Solitude, wipe their board, and have a persist to reanimate the Solitude if they can ever deal with it. But here, I think we just played what we have, and we're going to go cast by exiling persist. Please do not subtlety this. That would be sad for me. Stack it so a vocap in second. Show me your hand. Force of negation. We have to take that. Otherwise, they can force of negation this ephemerate. Then we ephemerate the grief. Grief's going to trigger. And then we can take a Lord. I think we have to take a Lord here. I don't see taking Dismember as being that high EV. They can actually race us without killing our grief. So I think we just take their Hexcatcher and call it a day. Yeah, we'll just take Hexcatcher. And then we have a grief. We can play the Zagoth Triome and pass. Our best top deck by like a mile here is just Engineered Explosives. All right, you've got a Lord, so they're all unblockable. You can attack me for, what is this, 7? Effectively like a 2-turn clock. Youch. On tap, Ephemerate happens. We are going to Ephemerate the grief, basically force them to dismember it. Sure, all gone, no grief. All right, show me a sick top deck. That's not an Engineered Explosives. Are we just dead on board here? We're just dead on board here. This doesn't do anything, so we gotta go into the next game. Man, these fish hands have been pretty brutal. If it wasn't for my grief scam game 1, I just would have gotten completely hosed. I still like what we've done with the deck. I'm just gonna run it back. All right, we are on the play because we lost the last game, and we have Archaeologist persist. Couple of bindings. This hand isn't as aggressive as we'd like it to be, but if the Archaeologist puts any reasonable threat into the graveyard, the persist becomes very good. I think we're keeping off of the even spread of interaction in our game plan. So we'll do that. We'll probably just play Marsh Flats, fetch for any reasonable Triome, probably since we're playing the Archaeologist and trying to go into persist. We want a black source, so we'll grab Zagoth into Hollowed Fountain. Seems fine. Go. Unless they open on exactly Aether Vial, then we're gonna... Okay, they're open on Aether Vial, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna try to binding that Vial. I don't want it to run into a Force of Negation, so what I'll do here is I'll fetch, I'm gonna grab Ragran Triome, set a stop on their upkeep, take the stop off of their draw step. Draw Subtlety, that's a pretty great draw. Play Polluted Delta, fetch, go grab Zagoth Triome, and then pass. And then their upkeep, we're just going to binding the Aether Vial. It doesn't play around Spell Pierce very well, but I'm more afraid of Force of Negation, to be honest. White binding. Do you have Pierce? No, cool. Get rid of that thing. All right, proceed, opponent. Cavern, play some Fish Lord, or maybe a Silvergill Adept. Harbinger of the Tides, sure. My turn. All right, let's play the Archaeologist. I can do it while holding up white, so I'll just play Swamp, go blue-black, Archaeologist, trigger the Archaeologist. What do we flip? There's a Solitude in there. So not the banger we wanted, but still a reasonable persist target. So we'll take it. We can take that stop off their upkeep. I imagine they want to play an Island Walk Lord here. In a perfect world, they don't play Hexcatcher. We want them to play Island Walk Lord, think they can attack, and then we can binding the Island Walk Lord. Yep, that's what they're doing. So they play the Island Walk Lord. They'll get to combat. They'll attack us for 3. And then we'll tap for a white mana. Cast Binding. Do you have the Spell Pierce now? No, cool. And we'll binding the Master. He's out of here. Then we can just go to blocks. Block the Harbinger. Keep our life total nice and healthy. And then we can kind of just play off the back of hard casting Subtlety for a little while as well. All right, my turn. Troll. Not bad. We'll play Flooded Strand. I think we're just going to pass and plan to use this Subtlety. I don't think we want to just sneak in the Troll right now. I think we're actually probably going to try to use this Persist on Solitude. So we're just going to be real patient here, trying to take out as many valid threats as we can. Hopefully they just go for like Violent of Sea and Sky or an Island Walk Lord or a Voldaren Hexcatcher, something where we're really happy to just like hard cast Subtlety, put it back on top, start to swing for 3 every turn. That would be very good. Mutavault, sure. All right, there's an Island Walk Lord, so this is perfect. We'll fetch. We're just gonna grab a basic island, and then we can, maybe we wanted a second white, but I should have thought about that, huh? And then we'll sneak in the subtlety, targeting that fish. I imagine they'll just put it right back on top. Yep, right back on top. Now they could like play Hex Catcher, but we don't really care about that too much. All right, take a draw step. Marsh Flats, not great. We'll pull, no, we're gonna hold it because we can draw Faithful Mending. We don't need to make any more land drops at the moment. So we'll go to combat, attack with our subtlety, and then I think we're just gonna pass. I don't think we need to do anything else, to be honest. Like the worst thing they can do right now is flash in Hex Catcher, and they didn't. So they probably just like recast their Lord, and then we try to persist our Solitude to deal with it. Oh, they want to get busy. They're going to attack us for 6, sure. Our best top deck by kind of a lot, I think, is Ephemerate. All right, do we want to cycle this Troll? I think we do. We'll Swamp Cycle this. We'll probably grab another white source. Let's grab Godless Shrine. And then my turn. Another land. Ugh, that's very bad. Let's go black, blue, persist, target, Solitude. If they force this, we're probably done. They don't, though. All right, take care of that Lord of Atlantis. Get out of here. And we'll get busy for 3. To go to 16, we'll play a fetch land, and we will pass. Now we're just hoping to draw like Soren's Ransom or Faithful Mending, something to undo this insane flood we've encountered. How many non-lands have we drawn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're a bit flooded. We're actually super flooded if you consider that we're like a 20 land deck. Sure, they've taken out our Ragran Triome. I imagine they just passed to us. They don't have anything to gain by attacking at all. Do we attack in with the Solitude? I think we do. We probably should have fetched there. EE, not awful. Let's get busy with both of these. If they'd like to block our Solitude, fine. We can persist it again later. What are they thinking? Merfolk Trickster? Sure, they got it. 1 Merfolk Trickster. Tap down Solitude or Subtlety? It's the Solitude, sure. Okay, we'll get busy for 3. Bring them to 13. And then what do we do here? Play... I guess we still want to keep these lands in our hand. We'll only play a land when we draw our 3rd one because we want Faithful Mending to be very good. Yeah, this is the turn I think that we need to play our EE. So we'll put that down on 2. Do you have a Force of Negation? And they don't, so we'll just pass. A Cavern of Souls on Merfolk makes sense. Activate the Mutavault, sure. They're going to get busy. We'll just block Mutavault and then pop the EE. I think that's how we do this. And then 1, 2. And then we take 2. Probably fetch this Flooded Strand for like anything. No gas, please, opponent. All right, they're just passing. We'll fetch. Grab. What do we got here? Yeah, I guess we can get a second white source into play and a redundant red source. Sacred Foundry tapped. My turn. Binding. Not the worst. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 5. Not another one. Another Trickster. You hate to see it. What are you going to tap? Solitude? Sure. So we're just going to pass holding up Binding. I like that the Subtlety can block right now. And if they think they're going to get me with a Island Walk Lord, we can kind of just hit it with the Binding and then block something and start to turn the game in our favor that way. Could be pretty good. Looks like they're going to get busy with Mutavault. Kind of alarming. Well, we're just going to block the Mutavault. They must have another Trickster or something. Boom. Are you going to flash in a Hex Catcher maybe? Nope, nothing. Cool. Now what? Dismember my Solitude, sure. My turn? That's a few too many lands, deck. I did not sign up for this. All right, we'll just play a land and try to weather the storm here. We're looking for any card draw spell. So a Preordain, a Faithful Mending, a Soren's Ransom, or another Solitude would be fine. All right, looks like we're going to stare at each other for a couple of turns, which I guess is better for me. Another copy of Subtlety, not the worst. They've only got 2 in hand. Maybe I can trick them into dying. Attack with Subtlety. This is still a Triome. This one's an island. So I've got Wooburg, just with these 2 lands. So yeah, I can cast Subtlety and Leyland Binding. I think we have to do it this way. We're going to combat. Attack for 3. You take it and go to 6, and we just, at this point, we want to be able to cast an Archon. So I want to play the Marsh Flats now, because we've just been drawing lands. And when they go to attack me, they'll think it's lethal, and we'll sneak in Subtlety. What are they doing here? Harbinger? Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4. Subtlety or Harbinger? No, thank you. Put it on top. Now, if they want to bounce my tap Subtlety, they got to do it right now. Oh, they're conceding. Okay. So they must have not had anything going. I don't know if I would have put that Harbinger back on top. But I'm not convinced that they for sure lost that game, but we'll take a win. Let's get into round 2 right about now. And this hand looks a little bit suspicious. We can obviously cycle the Troll for a Watery Grave and have more or less good mana. Maybe that's a line here because we can play the Archaeologist, and if all else fails, we can just persist the Troll. Maybe we keep this actually, because we do have like the inline plan of just Swamp Cycle the Troll, grab Watery Grave, play it, put Troll into play. In some matchups, that's going to be pretty powerful. And then if that's not the line we want to take, we can play the Archaeologist. Maybe we just keep it. I think we'll try it. But I think it is a little suspicious, and if we get Thought Seized, I think the game just ends on the spot. All right, no companion in the lead on Wooded Foothills. I am now suspicious that we're playing against Rhinos. All right, we draw Plains. I think I'm more or less comfortable with Chalking in the Sacred Foundry still, just to get Wooburg, like make the Leyline Binding a bit better, because if I do need to get Watery Grave, I can then cast Leyline Binding on 2 if this happens to not be Rhinos. All right, go. Fetch for Ketria Triome. Show me what you are. Stomping Ground. What are you up to? They shocked it into play? Excuse me? Island Cycle Lorien revealed. Okay, it probably is Rhinos. Go. Misty Rainforest, sure. Probably going to... They might ice me. We're still just gonna Swamp Cycle this Troll. Plan, where's my Watery Grave? There it is. My turn. If this is Rhinos, then me persisting this Troll is just very bad. They can Petty Theft it, they can Gaunt it, they can Pitch Cast the Fury onto it. There's too many ways that play gets blown out. Instead, I'm going to shock in this Watery Grave and just cast my Archaeologist. Maybe this gets Mystical Disputed. I can't see that happening, though. Our Archaeologist triggers. Flip me an Archon. Not quite an Archon, but we get Persist and Binding with an extra Archaeologist. I think we'll just take the Persist. We could take the Binding, but like with the Solitude in our hand, we have a lot of actions against just multiple Rhinos. So we'll just grab the Persist here and pass the turn. I was really hoping to see an Archon hit the bin. That would have been like max positive ROI. They fetch, go to 16, Ketria Triome. Okay, now I'm certain that it's Rhinos. So they'll probably Shardless us here, which is going to be unfortunate. Ooh, looks like they're going to Outburst. There's no way they don't have it, right? All right, they don't do anything. That's kind of weird. Let's play... Actually, let's just go ahead and preordain now. Sorin's Ransom and Persist. Do we want to draw Sorin's Ransom? Do we have time to cast Sorin's Ransom this game? I know we don't want the extra Persist, so we'll put that on the bottom. I think we might not have time for this Ransom. Maybe we do, with this Solitude in our hand and the multiple Persists, maybe it's okay. Especially if we need to pitch this Binding, which I don't know that we do. Let's leave this, you know what, no, with the Force of Negations, no, I'm not gonna walk into that. I'll put it on bottom. We see an Ephemerate, so that's like, great. We will play, I think we'll just play a tapped Godless Shrine and pass. I can't think of what we want to do with the extra mana. Go. All right, it's Outburst time. I think this is where we're going to take our action. They're going to go Outburst. They're going to get Rhinos. We're going to pitch Solitude and Ephemerate it. We're going to gain them just infinite life, but then we'll Ephemerate the Archaeologist after, and we're going to try to find our way to a Archon of Cruelty. So let that resolve. Here comes Solitude. Do you have Subtlety? Subtlety would be pretty bad for us. It's a Subtlety. Okay, so we will... Do we put that back on top? Yeah, we definitely put it back on top, because we're going to Ephemerate our Archaeologist and get access to the Solitude again. So we will... You got it. That's a Subtlety on Solitude. I will say top. And then while they have one in hand, I guess I'll go ahead and Ephemerate my Archaeologist now. All right, there's a Faithful Mending, so we'll take that. Archaeologist gets a little bit bigger. We're probably slotted to just take 8 here on our turn, and then Persist a Solitude. Of course, we'll probably cast the Mending first, because if we happen to flip an Archon, we're just going to do that. They've only got 2 left in hand. 1 left in hand now. So we're happy to take 8 here. No blocks. All right, Ephemerate time. Please put an Archon in the bin for me. Pretty please. All right, trigger resolves. What do we see? What do we see? There's a Grief. I guess we can take, like, I don't think we take the Leyline Binding, do we? I guess we can Leyline Binding and like Persist a Solitude. So, okay, I guess we'll take the Binding. Ugh. And we draw an island. Let's go ahead and start with a Swamp. No, I think, what's more important? Swamp Plains. Let's play Plains. We'll do Plains. We'll tap white plus black, and we will Persist a Solitude. They hardcast Force? Sure. And then I guess we'll just take this moment in time while they're hellbent to Leyline Binding one of the Rhinos. Get out of here. And then pass. We need them to not draw heaters right now. Ice my Archaeologist? Sure. All right, they're going to combat, attack me for 4. That's all good and well. I think before we just persist this Solitude, we're much more likely to Faithful Mending first. That way, if We can get an Archon in the bin. That's good for us. So we'll go... No, maybe we just play our land first. Play Island. Tap blue and white. Cast Faithful Mending. There's an Archon. We'll pitch Archon plus Marsh Flats. No, Archon plus Swamp. We're now going to go black and white. Persist. Archon of Cruelty. Can you stop me? I don't think you can. I think this kills you, as a matter of fact. I don't think there's any like sequence of top decks that beat this. Unless their hand is exactly, even if it's Brazen, yeah, they just concede. They can't beat that. Okay, cool. We found the thing we needed the exact moment we needed it. Engineered Explosives, Chalice of the Void, Supreme Verdict, Teferi, Time, Raveler, Force of Negation, Spell Pierce. Great cards. This, no. What's bad? How did we do this last time? Our deck was different last time because we had red in it. I think Binding's like pretty bad. I think Solitude will carry that weight for us. Soren's Ransom might be a little bit clunky. Preordain, I think we'll just shave a couple of, because it's like, I think that's something you're going to be doing with this deck a lot, especially on the draw. It just helps like solidify the deck's game plan. I don't want to cut all of them. As a matter of fact, maybe cutting 2 is bad when we put like a bunch of silver bullet cards in our deck, like Engineered Explosives and Chalice, plus we're bringing in Force of Negation, so maybe we actually don't want to lose the blue cards. Let me not eat my words on that. We can probably trim 1 Archon, 1 Troll, and that leaves us with 4 more slots. Do we really need the Spell Pierce on the draw? I feel like we really like it. I feel like we think it's pretty cool. I feel like our Griefs are actually a little bit fragile as well. Maybe we can like cut a pair of Grief plus like and Solitude. I don't want to cut too many of our creatures because that's going to ruin our Reanimator plan. Then like 1 Preordain, maybe something like this. This is awkward because we seem to have so much for this matchup, and we don't really want to cut that much from our deck. Our deck seems like the main game plan of the deck is quite solid. Well, we've got the Grief Scam hand. It gets broken up by force of like multiple copies of Force of Negation, but outside of that, I don't know if they can stop us. So it's got to be what? Subtlety? Subtlety or bust? We're gonna keep this. All right, they play Besiege. Sure, cool. No Suspending Footfall, so that is not a sign of weakness. We will shock in Sacred Foundry. Nice top deck. And we will play Grief by exiling Archon of Cruelty. Would you like to Subtlety this? They Subtlety. That's unfortunate. I don't know. We can't afford to put this back on top just because, like, we're not going to have another black card to pitch to the Grief for a minute. So maybe we just need to, like, hang out with this Solitude Ephemerate game plan we have here. We can take out the first set of Rhinos, so we'll just let this happen. Okay. Bottom. You got it, opponent. Go. Probably Island Cycle Lorien revealed. This deck plays 4 of those now, right? We don't really mind them subtletying our attempt at a Grief Scam because then it becomes a 2 for 2. Looks like they are going to Island Cycle Lorien revealed, which is fine. They probably get like basic Island. I could see us needing to like get... Oh, they get Steam Vents. Okay, so they're not going to Blood Moon us, it looks like. What is it? Tap Steam Vents pass? Or do we want to do a little ice action? Looks like they want to do a little bit of an ice on the Sacred Foundry, which is fine. We don't have a turn 2 play right now. Oh, they're going to suspend Crashing Footfall, so they have Dispute, or they want us to think they had Dispute. Or it could be like a second Lorien revealed. Preordain, not bad. Probably just going to cast that here. Fetch, shock in a Hallowed Fountain. Nah, we'll get a Watery Grave. Complete all our colors. Yes. Show me Preordain. Are you going to dispute this? That'd be funny. Yeah, looks like they dispute our Preordain. That's fine. We don't really care about that. If they want to trade that for that, cool. I'm just going to pass. Rhinos get closer. Looks like they don't have a land drop. Preordain again. Great. Cast it. Chalice and Archaeologist. I think we'll take both. We'll go top. Play Marsh Flats. Play Chalice on 0. Can you stop me? All right, go. Rhinos get closer. Do they miss another land drop? Looks like no. They're gonna pass to us. We're not gonna fetch here. We want to actually get our Archaeologist. Boom, and then we'll cast it. Blue and whatever. Archaeologist. All right, Archaeologist, get us something cool. Nothing. Grief goes to the graveyard. That doesn't mean a lot right now. We're just going to pass. Probably get some Ephemerate action going on this Archaeologist if they continue to do nothing. Just because, like, a few Archaeologist triggers and all of a sudden we can persist an Archon out of nowhere. They shock in Breeding Pool. What do they want to do here? Flash in Endurance? Oh, Prismari Command. They're going to do what? Destroy that and then loot 2? That's fine. Go for it. Oh, they make a treasure. Sure. Rhinos get closer, but they're not here yet. What do they got? One more time counter on them? Yeah, well, Uno Moss. Looks like we're going to get Shardless. That is fine. It might be time to Solitude Scam them. I suppose we can just take a draw step, though. All right, you've got Rhinos. You've got a Cascade Dude. Are you done? They done. We're going to grab... We want a green source. We'll just go ahead and go get Zagoth Triumph, I think. Yeah. All right, my turn. Archon of Cruelty. If they don't have anything, and I ephemerate this Archaeologist, and it hits Persist, I think it ends the game. I think. Alternatively, I can use the rest of the cards. I don't think putting my opponent up at, what are they going to gain, 8, 23 life with Solitudes, and then another Crashing Footfalls coming into play next turn. I don't think we win the game by doing that. I think we win the game by stealing it. And I think that involves tapping for white here and ephemerating our Archaeologist. Wait, does that actually... Hold on. Cancel. The Archon's in our hand, so there's not a lot we can do. We can hope to ephemerate the Archaeologist and get, like, what? Faithful Mending? Because if we pitch Solitude to Solitude, take out one of the Rhinos, ephemerate the Solitude, take out another Rhino, they go to like 1.5 billion life. Then we can, of course, ephemerate the Solitude to take out another Rhino. And then there's going to be a Rhino, like, we can double block the 4th Rhino with Archaeologist plus Solitude. They probably kill the Solitude. And then there's no more Rhinos. But then we're sitting here with an Archon just kind of in our hand. I think we're in a really bad spot here. I'm not sure what's better. I'm going to go ahead and ephemerate this Archaeologist and see what I can get going. Because if we can hit like a EE or a Chalice to Fury, well, we can't cast it. I guess we'll take Faithful Mending. Can't quite cast that yet. Probably should have thought about that. We'll pass the turn. It looks like we're going to take a bunch of damage here. I think our goal is to use this Ephemerate on the Archaeologist to try to hit Engineered Explosives and just take all the Rhinos out in one swoop. So we've got more Rhinos coming into play. We can at the very least block the Shardless Agent, so we just take 8 here, drop to 6. Block that. They pass to us. Okay, untap. Get rebounded. Ephemerate the crap out of this Archaeologist. Okay, show me Engineered Explosives. Another Faithful Mending. That's not very good. I guess we will take it, but it's looking dicey. That's a Fury. Alright, going through our lines, we've got a couple. We can play Teferi, bounce a Rhino. If Teferi resolves and the Rhino gets bounced, we draw a card. That's going to allow us to Solitude another Rhino by pitching, say, a Faithful Mending. Then they're going to be able to attack us for 10. We're at 6. But we can block a Rhino token with a 0/3 and take 4, 5, 6, 7. That doesn't save us. I think what we need to do is cast Faithful Mending and hope to draw Persist. If we can draw Persist off Faithful Mending and they don't have anything, and we can put Archon into play, they sacrifice Shardless Agent, we gain 3 and go to 9. Then they untap, swing out, and we can Solitude a Rhino and block a Rhino and go to 1. Is that our line? I think that's our line. Let's go white, blue, Faithful. Okay, that is not... Nope, there are no Persists in there. All right, they got us on game 2. I still like our deck for game 3, so I don't think we're going to make any changes. No, this is fine. Maybe like Grief's a little bit better on the play. I don't know. I don't like that they can Subtlety or Grief Scam. I do like that it's still 2 for 2s then, though. But I think we'll just try running this back. All right, we get to be on the play, show us a good opener, persist, so we can persist the troll, that's fine. I think this hand's fine. We really want to get this Archon into play as quick as possible, which you don't have a direct line to, but the Archaeologist can help with that. I think we're keeping this hand. They mold a 6, great start for us. And they gemstone us, so they're down to 4. All right, we'll see what this hand is. We're gonna play, we're not super worried about our mana because there's no bindings left in our deck, so maybe it's just safe to lead on planes and cycle the troll for Watery Grave. I like that, go. They're gonna island cycle Lorien Revealed. Cool. Are they gonna try to like Blood Moon us? We are kind of insulated against Blood Moon. We can actually just cycle troll for Swamp. Let's do that. Let's play around the Blood Moon since they're posturing as if they're going to Blood Moon us. Swamp, turn, Chalice, great, Strand, fetch, get Island, play Archaeologist, trigger the Archaeologist. Please put something sick into the graveyard. Pretty please? Not really. We've got a Persist, an EE, and a Spell Pierce. I guess we'll take the EE, but we were really hoping that we'd hit like something sick for this Persist. That said, we're pretty comfortable just putting a Chalice of the Void into play on 0 and then passing. Hopefully they kept their hand on Blood Moon or something. Great. All right, they kept their hand on Blood Moon. So they've got a Moon, that's fine. I guess we'll take this opportunity to put this Swamp into play, show them that we thought about it, haha. And then we could Archon them, like pitch Archon to Grief, take out the best card in their hand, and then persist the Grief and take out the next best card in their hand. But I think that we just want to put like big power into play. Let's just put big dumb guy into play. Here's a troll. It worked, neat. Beyond that, I don't think we're doing anything else. We'll just pass. All right, they play Wooded. They're going to cast Shardless. They just want a 2/2? Sure, you can have a 2/2. That is the opposite of a sign of strength. You're just going to get clocked for 5 every turn, right as it stands. What are you going to pitch cast Fury or something? I don't know what your plan is here. All right, Polluted Delta, sure. Here's a Godless Shrine, aka Weird looking mountain. We will get busy for 5, and then perhaps it makes a good amount of sense to play engineered explosives on 3. What if I play EE on 3? Pop Blood Moon and Shardless Agent next turn. Then I can cast the Grief, not next turn, but the turn after. Am I that into griefing my opponent? Hard to say. Maybe I'm just supposed to pitch cast this Archon to grief them, because I definitely don't want them just hard casting a Fury against me. That would be very bad. Yeah, this might be a little bit paranoid, but the last thing I want is for them to hard cast a Fury, so I'll exile Archon. Here comes Grief. Stack it like that, make them paranoid about Ephemerate. Crashing Footfalls and Shardless Agent. I guess we'll take your Shardless Agent. I really wish they had a Fury when I did that, so I could feel really smart about that play. Alright, opponent, you're up. Probably just gonna pass to us. I can't imagine they have very much going on. Alright, don't ice my troll, please. Preordain? I guess I can wait till after combat to do it, see if they ice me. They don't. Here's 5. Triple Menace. Troll's so cool, it can't be blocked except for by 3 or more creatures. Alright, that worked. Preordain. Chalice, Polluted Delta. I don't think I want either of these. Bottom, draw a random. It's a Force of Negation, not great. I guess we'll just put Polluted Delta into play. Do we need to? What's the upside of doing that? I don't know if there is any upside to playing this Polluted Delta right now. I'm just going to pass. That way Faithful Mending still remains like a reasonable card if you draw it. Force of Vigor, sure. I still have this nice engineered explosives, so I'm glad I didn't pop that. They're going to suspend a Footfalls, great. Okay, they've got one more turn to draw out of this. We draw Persist, wow, that's not bad. Combat, you, and then I don't really want to Persist or Grief just because like they have no cards in hand, so we'll just pass. Looks like they die. Okay, that one was a little bit of a, it felt like a nail biter because I don't like playing 3-color decks with a Blood Moon in play, but we played around the Blood Moon and we're rewarded for it, putting us at 2-0, so let's get into game 3. Okay, we found opponent and we're on the play, so that's pretty neat. We've got 3 lands, Preordain, Archon, Leyline, Binding, Archaeologist. This seems fine. This is not necessarily aggressive, but I love just opening on Preordain to set ourselves up. This definitely isn't as aggressive as we want to be. Even so, we've got the Leyline Binding as some interaction. If we can find like maybe a Faithful Mending off of the Archaeologist, we can make use of the Archon. I think we'll try it. Also, we'll just pretend to be another deck for a turn. We'll go Island Preordain. Our opponent will be sure we're playing Murktide. All right, Island Preordain. Couple of lands, glad we did that. Put on the bottom, put on the bottom. Draw Preordain, great, go. Watery Grave tapped, sure. All right, we've got a Grief. Let's just go ahead and do the Archaeologist. We'll shock Sacred Foundry into play. Play the Archaeologist. Trigger the Archaeologist. Let's see what we can get. All right, looks like we get a Persist. Not the worst. We need to find a way to get this Archon into our bin, but I think we're okay with that. So we'll take the Persist. We could just Grief Scam our opponent, planning to Persist the Grief next turn. Doesn't seem like the worst. Although, I guess we can kind of just do all of that next turn. I want to see what our opponent does on their turn before I commit to anything. So I'll just pass. Oh wait, I just realized I flipped an Archon into the bin. Oh wow, we're definitely going to Grief our opponent to make sure they can't counterspell what we're trying to do. All right, draw, great. Here comes this Grief, I guess. I should pay more attention to my Archaeologist. I only just now realized that there's just an Archon in my bin. All right, like this. What's in your hand? Don't be 2 counterspells. For the love of God. All right, we've got Fatal Push, Ransom, Edict. Edict seems pretty not great. Although if they Fatal Push the Archaeologist, they can Edict the Archon. Don't love that. Maybe I just take Edict? Yeah, I guess we can just take the Edict. Let them cast Ransom if they want to. Seems fine. Yeah, take the Edict out of your hand. Let that go to my bin. Shock in this Godless Shrine. Go black, white, Persist, Archon of Cruelty. Sure, you Fatal Push my Archaeologist. Archon of Cruelty? Yahoo. Alright, then we can Preordain. Maybe try to set up another Persist or something, just in case they can answer my Archon. Ooh, Faithful Mending and Soren's Ransom. I think we'll take both those cards in no particular order. Put on the top, put on the top. Alright, you're up, dude. They need to draw the thing like right now. They're just gonna pass to us. Alright, combat. Trigger. Yeah, you got it. Flooded Strand, fetch, probably cast Soren's Ransom. I think I'll cast mine in response since I know they don't have anything for mine. Doesn't really matter how I do this, but I'm just going to cast this. Well, we don't want Archon and Solitude in our hand at all, so we'll just... If these are 2 our lands, you got me. Choose pile 2. Alright, it's 2 Griefs. Great. Perfect. All right, you got Bowmaster, Regent, Delta. I tell you what, you can take either Polluted Delta and Bowmaster or Murktide, Regent, and Bowmaster. You know what, maybe I just don't care if you take 2 Bowmasters. It doesn't, yeah, I just don't care about that. Here, you can have a bunch of Bowmasters if you want them. All right, Bowmasters went to the graveyard, so they took Murktide, Regent, and land, and they concede. Okay, that was very clean. Put Archon into play, promptly win the game. Looks like we're playing against blue-black Bowmasters. I don't think EE, Chalice, or Nihil Spellbomb make a lot of sense. I do like Teferi. I'm somewhat into the idea of Subtlety and Spell Pierce. I don't know about Force of Negation. Maybe Force of Negation's like just necessary. Subtlety, what are they going to try to put into play that I care about? Maybe Shieldred, Murktide Regent. I don't care about Murktide. My Bindings and Solitudes are just so insane there. And I think this game's going to go a while, so maybe I'm just not that into Spell Pierce in the matchup either. They're a Bowmaster deck, so maybe I'll actually shave on my Faithful Mendings. Could be reasonable. And then I'm on the draw, so shave like 1 Troll, Preordain. I'm just kind of shaving because this is another one of those matchups where I don't hate any of my options. And then maybe like an Archon, maybe something like this. Just bring in these like extra yummy cards and try that out. One notable exclusion we made from this deck that differs it quite a bit from Hyper's list is that we don't have any 1-rings in our deck. I wanted to try a variation of the deck that doesn't do any crazy, stupid mid-range thing. Not that I'm saying that it's a bad idea to play the 1-ring in Reanimator. I don't like the 1-ring against Tron. I really just want to like get my game plan going as fast as possible. So I want my card selection and advantage in the early part of my game. So I wanted to try Preordain in its place. So that's one of the reasons we built this deck the way that we built it. All right, our opponent gets to be on the play. You hate to see it. Hopefully they mold a 5. That'd be really cool for us. All right, we've got the Grief Scam, which I think is a good place to be in this matchup. So we're definitely just going to keep. It sucks we got to pitch an Archon, but that just is what it is. We do get a draw step, so maybe we find something else to pitch to the Grief. But we've got no way to like get this Archon into the bin at the moment or anything, so this is probably fine. Our best draw is actually probably a blue card, just a Force of Negation and interaction for the Grief that they might top deck. All right, they Preordain, they pass to us. What do we draw? A Troll. That's interesting. So we'll go Flooded Strand, fetch, shock, Hollowed Fountain. We're going to pitch this Archon to this Grief. The reason we're doing it this way is because obviously Hollowed Fountain plus Swamp makes us all the colors of our mana that we want. And then if they Subtlety this, we'll put it right back on top and try again with Troll. So let's go cast by exiling Archon of Cruelty. We'll start with Archon, that way we can cycle the Troll if we need to. Stack it like this. Show me your hand. Okay, they've got Counterspell, 2 Lorien Revealed, Preordain, and Stone. The Stone messes with our graveyard. So what we'll do is we'll take probably the... I think we'll take the Counterspell first, then we will Ephemerate our Grief, and then I'm unsure whether I'm supposed to take Stone or their Preordain. Probably Stone. Yeah, I think I'm cool taking Stone, because if they Preordain, I can just Grief whatever they took off the Preordain, so that's fine. And there you go, opponent gets scammed. Go. They cast the Preordain, sure. Alright, they play a land and pass to us. Here comes another Ephemerate. With this Troll, we're going to want to cycle for Watery Grave so we can hardcast this Force of Negation if we need to. Soren's Ransom plus Shieldred. Well, I wouldn't like it if they cast either of those cards, but I can always Solitude the Shieldred. I think I want to take their card selection. So we'll just hit Soren's Ransom, draw Archon, not nothing. Play land and pass the turn. Alright, they're going to Island cycle the Lorien Revealed, sure. Probably just get like Watery Grave. Nope, Sunken Hollow. What the hell? What's going on, dude? Why are you playing Sunken Hollow in your deck? That's weird. Pass to me. Wait. Why did I just F6? Oh, well, too late. I guess it doesn't matter too much. It does. Now I can't pitch cast. Now I can't hard cast my Force of Negation. So be it. I hit F6 too soon and I'm paying the piper. Let's get busy for 3. And then let's Swamp Cycle this Troll. And since we're going to put it into play tapped anyway, maybe we would just get Zagoth Triumph. I think we need a second white for the Solitude, so maybe it is just Godless Shrine. I guess we can get the Godless Shrine on the second time around, and we'll get Watery Grave into play now. But since we're not going to be like... Yeah, I think we just get Zagoth Triumph, actually. And then we'll cycle this one for a Godless Shrine, so we can actually cast our Solitude, right? Yeah. Pass turn to you. We're going to Island cycle another Lorien Revealed and get that Shieldred into play. You got it. Watery Grave this time. Maybe they're just playing like 1 Sunken Hollow. That seems a little weird to me. They must be playing like at least 6 basics to make that work. Shock that into play, sure. Shelly. Shieldred. Sure, let's go ahead and just cycle this now. We'll grab a Godless Shrine, and that's good. Turn. I take 2. We can now hard cast the Solitude. We've got Force of Negation mana up as well. So we'll just keep pressuring our opponent. We'll put this into play. Tapped. We'll go to combat and we will attack them. Bring them down to 11. They'll go to 13 after they draw for turn. Go. All right, here's to hoping they didn't draw a counterspell. Swamp, sure. I think that's all the Lorien revealed that they had in their hand. Get busy with Shelly, sure. Bring me to 11, then to 9. Hate it. Another Archon, that's very bad. We don't want this many Archons. All right, let's get busy. Beat took you for 3. Bring you to 10. Shock in Sacred Foundry. And I'm actually going to pass to them and do this in their upkeep just so they have to use their mana on their turn. So they're going to cast Sheoldred's Edict. Okay, that's fine. I'll sacrifice Grief. Stop you in your upkeep. Here's a Solitude. Do you have the card that stops me from doing this to you? No. All right, get Sheoldred out of here. You can go to 14. Otawara, that's gross. But still, at least it's in their hand. We'll be able to gain some of our life back with Solitude. Hopefully we can draw like a Faithful Mending or something before they can resolve that Sheoldred again. Watery Grave, not quite. Although we're getting kind of close to hard casting an Archon, so we're going to keep playing. But that Sheoldred does spell pretty bad news for us. And go. What are they going to pass to us? No Sheoldred? What do they got, a Soren's Ransom? Faithful Mending's pretty great. All right, I'm going to combat, dude. Bowmasters? Great, sure. Oh, right. I should have responded with Faithful Mending. I thought they'd have to double block my Solitude with Bowmasters, but they most certainly do not. All right. Well, I guess this does let me Faithful Mending now. Like this is awkward. You do what you gotta do. So what I should have done, right, is cast Faithful Mending with the Bowmasters on the stack. My thinking was, oh, they'll have to block with the Bowmasters, but it triggers when it enters the battlefield. So I'm gonna have to make myself look like a real asshole right now. I'm gonna tap for white and blue and cast Faithful Mending and take 2 unnecessary damage, which I'm not happy with. All right, so that's 2 Bowmaster triggers. We're going to discard Archon of Cruelty, plus I think with this land in our hand, maybe we can try to actually hardcast the Archon. So do we want to just like use Teferi to get something out of play? Maybe we just need to pitch both Archons. Hard to tell. Maybe this Force of Negation is just like going to rot in our hand. Let's pitch Archon plus Force. And then Bowmaster is going to make a 2/2 and hit me for 2, which is boo, very stinky. And then we may as well put this Teferi into play. We've already messed up a bunch. So Teferi solved my problems. No such luck, huh? All right, you Force of Negation that. I guess that means if I top deck a land, this Archon's coming into play. Yeah, that whole sequence would have been much better if I had just Faithful Mending in response to the Bowmaster. This is like the second time on the channel I've just gotten blown out by like misplaying around Bowmasters. All right, you got it. You attack me for 3. I'll go to 10. Play Shelly. Preordain first, sure. They go 1 top, 1 bottom, so they like something that they took, telling me that they might not cast Sheoldred. Unless it's like a Murktide region or something, that would be kind of a blowout. Nope, they're going with Shelly, so there that is. And then we'll fetch, we're going to get the Triome out of our deck, so we can't top deck it. We would feel really dumb if we draw land and we can cast Archon, and then we just top deck the Ragran Triome. Alright, well, that's pretty bad. Let me see, we Faithful, then we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're dead. I genuinely think if we had cast that Faithful in response to the Bowmaster, we could have had, like, we would have had a lot easier a time with those last couple of turns. But I like the way the deck's configured still, so we'll run it back. All right, we're on the play. Show me something good. It's almost a Grief Scam hand. I guess we can preordain and try to set up the Grief Scam. I think we'll keep this. All right, let's go Polluted Delta. Fetch Shock. Let's get a Hallowed Fountain. That'll give us the colors for Ephemerate and Preordain, plus Archaeologist. I like that. And it doesn't take away from our swamps that we can swamp cycle with our Troll. So we'll grab Hallowed Fountain, shock it into play, tap for blue, cast Preordain. Neither of these are black cards. Neither of these are what we're looking for. We'll go bottom, bottom. A Solitude. I've never been so disappointed to draw a Solitude in my life. All right, they're gonna play Strand, probably pass unless they've got like a Preordain. And they cast the Stone. 1 chance to draw a black card deck. Yes, thank you. Cool, wait, if a creature would die, exile it instead. Ew, stinky. Oh wait, it wouldn't die. We've got Ephemerate, not Undying Malice. Oh, that's great. Cool. Okay, Grief. Here comes Grief. Ephemerate just works. The Stone doesn't care about that. All right, so we'll stack it the way we need to stack it and show me your hand. Pierce, Force, Murktide, Sheoldred's Edict. We're gonna start by taking Force, so this whole move works. And then we'll go Ephemerate here. All right, now what's the card we actually want to take? Shelly's Edict, probably. We can just Solitude a Murktide if we need to. Yeah, it's probably just supposed to be Shelly's Edict, I think. It's not Pierce. We don't have a non-creature in our hand, non-creature, non-land. We could take Murktide Regent, then they shield her to Edict us, and we're kind of in a weird spot because that stone's like putting a gun right between our eyeballs. We're gonna take the Edict and try to like get some serious damage done with this Grief. Notably, we also like they need to put the Murktide into play right now, which I don't know if they can because we get to Ephemerate again. So we'll play Marsh Flats and pass. Polluted Delta, sure. So they can't Murktide us, which is pretty great. We're gonna Ephemerate this Grief. Hopefully they don't have like another shield or Edict or anything. Boop, show it to me. Yes. Yes, let me see your hand. Oh, that's right, Spell Pierce, that's fine. Wait, we can pay it. Oh no, we needed to fetch first in order to pay it. No, that's fine. You got it, no. All right, now we will fetch. Wait, we needed to fetch on their end step. What am I doing? Oh wait, what am I talking about? That's a different game. We just played that, didn't we? No, we didn't. What happened? Why did we not fetch with that Marsh Flats? What's wrong with me? Am I having a stroke? And we drew another Solitude, ugh. I guess we'll grab Godless Shrine, shock it into play, and then get busy with Grief. And then maybe this Archaeologist finds us an Ephemerate? Could be cool. Am I too tired to play Magic right now? I might be. It doesn't find anything and there's an Archon in the bin. Rats. At least we have a 1/4. Go. Yeah, I miffed that entire sequence. That was very goofy. Maybe I actually am a little bit too tired to be playing Magic. Oh well, we're gonna finish the league. They're gonna Island Cycle Lorium Revealed. Sure, probably get Sunken Hollow awkwardly. I mean, it's not awkward. It's just awkward that it's in their deck. You got it, bud. We're gonna pass to us, sure. Binding, awkward. If we had fetched properly, this binding would be actively good. All right, attack with everything. Figure this out. Go. All gone. Preordained, sure. They went 2 top 0 bottom, which is like pretty bad news for us, to be honest. Draw, that's a Grief. That's not great. Let's go to combat. Attack with everything I got. All right, cool. You go to 7. Go. What is this, Bowmaster? Shieldred's Edict. Yes, I will sacrifice the Archaeologist. Is it Murktide time? You've got a Murktide. Something really cool they could do here would be to, when I attack with this Grief, flash in Bowmasters and use Murktide and the token to block. Ooh, Flooded Strand's quite good here. We can grab probably as a Goth with this, and that'll turn our binding on as a 2-drop. Although, interestingly, Flooded Strand could also fetch for Jetmir's. My first pairing was Jetmir's and Ragran. And that was because, I'll have an on-colored Triome, but it kind of put me off that my off-colored Triome like only tap for 1 color. But due to situations like this, maybe that's next time I try this deck, I'll do it with Raphian's Tower and Jetmir's Garden. But for now, I think I need to play into what our opponent clearly is trying to do to us and attack them for 3. Beep. Oh, they don't do that? Okay. Oh, they just go to 4. All right, bet. Go. So they're going to attack for 8, and we are certainly going to try to binding the Murktide Regent. We don't want them to gain 8. We know that, so we got to start with binding. Zagoth. Does it make a difference? We've got white. Yeah, let's get Zagoth. Binding. Do you have Counterspell? Do. Unfortunate. This is a 2-turn clock. I think I kind of need to Solitude this. Do you have a second Counterspell? All right, go away. I guess you can go to 12 or whatever. That's too high. That ruined my clock. I liked it better when I had fast clock. All right, come on, land. Hardcast Grief, let's go. Force of Negation, I guess I'll take it. All right, you're at 9, go. Just a bunch of pitch cards in my hand. A bunch of Modern Horizons 2 cards. Ugh. Do I counter this? Messes my clock up pretty bad. Even so, I think I just gotta let this happen. I've got another Grief in my hand. Hopefully we can draw land number 4. My turn, draw, Preordain. I guess we'll cast that. Bowmasters? I guess so. You got it, buddy. All right, Ephemerate and Faithful Mending. If we take both of these, I can Solitude scam my opponent. And if I take the Faithful first, I can hold up Pitchcast Force of Negation so they can't pull ahead with some card draw spell. Tempting. There's nothing good enough in my graveyard to try to like hunt for a Persist, so maybe that's just the play. All right, let's go top and draw this. All right, you hit me for 1. Go. Attack me for 3, bring me to 8. Start winning that race. Hate that for me. Ouch. All right, opponent, I really hope you don't have Counterspell, because we're going for this. Solitude, cast by exiling Faithful Mending from my hand. All right, we'll put the Evoke trigger on the stack first, and then Solitude will hit Bowmaster. And then here comes my Ephemerate. Can you stop me? Rats, they can stop me. All right, there goes my little Solitude, and you're up. They'll attack me for 2. Oh man, we need to draw like Persist or something here, I think. Teferi wouldn't be bad either, actually. Teferi would be pretty good, as long as they don't have the permission. Troll. Actively medium. I guess we're cycling it though. We'll get basic swamp. We'll play it. At least we can hold up Force of Negation. But it's getting really dicey. Wait, what? Oh no, I F6'd. Oh, I gotta stop doing that. I could have forced this. Bad Adrian. Let's show them Counterspell plus Watery Grave. I've become too comfortable with the F6 button. Forcing that would have been amazing. I maybe could have won the game if I forced that. I flubbed this game twice. Watery Grave, probably tapped, right? Yep, attack me for 2. Ugh. Oh, that leaves the grossest taste in my mouth. Learn from me, kids. Don't make the mistakes that I make. Alright. If Faithful Mending draws Archon Persist, maybe. I think they took Counterspell, though. Yeah, they have Counterspell in their hand. I guess we could Grief them, force the Counterspell, and try that next turn? Yuck. Here's Grief, dude. Put this in my graveyard. You got it. Go. Alright. Attack me. Bring me to 2. Draw Marsh Flats. Here comes my Mending. White. Wait, no. That's my blue source. Let's go blue. White. Is there still a basic plains in my deck? I don't know if I need... Who cares? Faithful Mending. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna pay that, because I need the life gain from the Faithful Mending if I want to, like, live. A second Spell Pierce. Oh, God. Well, we lost game 3. I don't think we needed to. I think I made some serious... I think I made a click error and then just a gameplay error. I messed up against the Bowmaster, and then I F6 when I shouldn't have. So I guess that puts us at 2-1. Not the worst place to be, but still, I think we could be 3-0 right now. Oh well, going to game 4. Alright, we lost the die roll. Boo. Let's go, Redemption Arc. Give me a cracked hand. I just want to, like, landslide through my opponent after that last game. That was a bummer. I never mind losing games, because, like, there's a lot of really good players out there, and a lot of them play on Magic the Gathering Online, but I hate losing games that I didn't have to lose. It gives me the worst ick. I think that this hand is, like, fine. It's not doing anything very quickly, but it's like, it is a pile of passable cards. We don't have any removal, really, so we kind of get run over by Ragavan, but our opponent just mulligans, so we're keeping. Go to 5. Go to 5. Alright, they stayed at 6. Don't Ragavan me, please. Is Ketria Triumph Rhinos, maybe? If it's Rhinos, maybe we have some time to glue some stuff together. Archaeologist, so we'll just play this. We'll just lead on the Triumph and pass. We'll probably need to, like, grief them on our next turn if they are Rhinos. That's an island. I do believe they're Rhinos, so I probably just need to grief our opponent. Get rid of the Soren's Ransom, or maybe, like, draw a Troll or something. That would be better to pitch to the grief. An Ephemerate would be a great top deck here, but we do not find that. So let's grief our opponent. Beep. Boop. Maybe we can take out, hopefully they only have one Cascader and we can take that out. Otherwise, if they've got, like, multiple Cascaders, our hand is not equipped to deal with that. This. Okay. Cycle Lorien revealed, so now I'm 100% sure they're Rhinos. Alright, show me what you got, dude. 3 fucking Cascaders. This is gonna be brutal. Let's take out a Shardless Agent, I suppose. And then we'll play Archaeologist, and we need to get stupid lucky. We need Archon to come into play as fast as possible. Plains, blue, white, Archaeologist. Show me Persist, Land, Archon. Okay, no such luck. We'll take Preordain. I think we're just dead in the water this game. Go. Breeding Pool, Shock, Shardless Agent, Rhinos. Alright, the best thing we can do right now, I'm going to F6 through this. The best thing that can happen to us is we top deck Ephemerate Archaeologist, and then hit Persist, plus Archon. Even this hand I don't think could beat that. I guess they could Gaunt it. They do have Dead Gone. Alright, but we don't have anything close to that, so we'll lead on Preordain. Solitude plus Persist, huh? What if we take the angle of giving my opponent infinite life? I don't love it. No, we're gonna set up to get... Can we set up to get lucky? They've got a Gaunt in their hand. So even if I'm able to get an Archon into the graveyard, if I persist it, they just Gaunt it and we're in the same spot. Do we just need this Solitude to let them gain a billion life and hopefully we can find our way into something? I don't like that. I guess we could persist the grief, take out their other Cascader, then, like, try to utilize this Solitude next turn. Maybe use the Archaeologist to get an Ephemerate. Let's put you on top, then you on top. Then let's shock you into play. Let's persist targeting the grief, paying black, white. That's the line we're gonna take. We're gonna try to set up to get really lucky and top deck an Ephemerate with this Archaeologist, because that would let us Solitude scam our opponents. All right, grief you. Oh my God, they drew a 4th Cascader. Yeah, I don't think we can win. I don't think we can ever win without Chalice when they draw 4 Cascaders. That's really bad. That's so bad for us. We maybe had, like, a glimmer of hope if they didn't have a Cascader in their hand right now, but they just have another one. What are they going to do? Dead my grief? Yeah, it looks like they're going to dead the grief, which is fine. Dead grief. Goodbye, grief. Then we're going to take 8 here. We can block the Shardless with the Archaeologist. Then they what? Cast Outburst and kill the Archaeologist as well? I still think I have to save the life. All right, there they go. They're popping off. They're putting infinite Rhinos into play. Violent Outburst. Cascade. More Rhinos. I go to 8. My Archaeologist dies. I don't think there's a single top deck that pulls me out of this. You got it, buddy. Ouch. Honestly, rude, dude. Solitude. We knew that was coming. I'm gonna play this archaeologist, trigger the archaeologist, look at nothing, click concede, and sideboard in like 25 cards. Ugh, that was awful. I did not enjoy that. I had a bad time. Alright, I think these are the things we said we wanted, and then the things we said we didn't want were like play, so maybe two of these, some of them, maybe preordain. Maybe grief is like kind of weak to their subtleties. Something like that. Let's try that. All right, let's go, opponent. All right, we're on the play. Let's see here. Persist, double to fury, faithful mending. This hand, I think, is a trap. This persist is kind of just floating in our hand. We have to hope that the faithful mending is good to us, and if it's not, the persist continues to be bad, and it's a little bit slow. It gets blown out by force of negation. We have to mulligan, I think. Yeah, I think this is just like a hard mulligan, unfortunately. All right, chalice, force. Arc, great. This hand's fine. We really want, I think we have to pitch Archon, and we really want these archaeologists to give us some gas, but I think we will try this out. Unfortunately, they kept 7. You hate to see it. We'll pitch the Archon. We're probably just opening on Chalice of the Void. Okay, cool. Gemstone Caverns, who cares? All right, so if their hand is like blue card, Mystical Dispute, Force of Negation, it's sketchy. But we gotta do Flooded Strand, Chalice of the Void on 0. If they go to counter this, we will meet a Force of Negation. Oh wait, no, we can't. We can't even do that because it's our turn. So, good thing they didn't have it. I was thinking, I'll back this Chalice up the Force of Negation, but they intentionally printed Force of Negation and not be that busted. I think we'll maybe not fetch here. I just want to put this Archaeologist into play, so maybe it makes more sense to like take the draw. I don't want to get iced, and they stopped in our upkeep, so I'm glad I did that. And then we can shock in Sacred Foundry. We can pay a life. We can go grab, let's say, Watery Grave. And then we can play the Archaeologist. Our opponent really wanted to ice us that turn. I'm glad they weren't able to. We'll take Preordain. That's fine. And then we will pass. Why would they tap white mana? They're gonna, oh, they just wanted to be a meme lord. They're gonna Island Cycle Lorien Revealed. I wonder if they'll get a basic here. Do they want to Blood Moon us? Yeah, they just get a basic island. They can fetch with Misty to get a forest. So we probably need to hold up Force of Negation for a potential Blood Moon, because we are not currently insulated against that card at all. Land off the top. No, it's a grief, and we can't even grief scam them. I think our play is to awkwardly pass the turn and then ephemerate our Archaeologist at their end step. That way we can pitch cast Force against a Blood Moon, because, you know, we're playing Leyline Binding. They can see our mana base is fragile, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just fetch for a forest here and go for it. They don't fetch for the forest. All right, they're fetching now. Blood Moon me? They're Blood Mooning, so we're gonna go cast by target that, exile this Preordain. No thank you. Take a pass on that, dude. They're passing to us, so I think I'll ephemerate this Archaeologist. Try to get some stuff going. Faithful Mending? Sure, we'll take it. Alright, my turn. Untap. Ephemerate Rebounds. Yeah, I'll do it again. Teferi or Faithful Mending. We haven't drawn for turn. The upside of drawing Teferi is super high, so I think we'll take Teferi. If we draw a land here, it's like pretty good for us. Nope, just another Ephemerate. Might make some sense to Mending for land here. I think we have to. Blue, white, Faithful Mending. Please don't force this. No land, Archaeologist, and another Ephemerate. I don't think we need 2 Ephemerates. Or do we? The upside of drawing a black card to pitch to grief with a hand like this is like super duper high. But I think we need to pitch our redundant Ephemerate and possibly just the Solitude. Maybe it's the Archaeologist. We really need to be making land drops. I think I'll pitch the Archaeologist as well. Okay, opponent. It's going awkward for me. Go. Do you have another Blood Moon? Looks like no. Cool, good talk. Black card. Preordain. Well, we have to cast it. Preordain. Show me a land. Okay. Persist plus Troll. We've already got a Troll in the bin. I think we want both of these cards. If we forego the land drop, we can get really skanky here and stack it so we draw the Troll, pitch it to the grief, and if they don't have a subtlety, we can take like their Force of Negation, then ephemerate the grief, and then top deck the persist. So I think we'll go top, and then we will go cast by exiling Troll. Subtlety would be bad here, but they don't have it, so we're gonna stack it like this, and show me your hand. Endurance. I don't love it, but sure, you may endurance me. You got it, buddy. And then show me your hand, then we'll ephemerate the grief, and then we know we're drawing a persist. Holy shit, it's just 4 Violent Outbursts and a Crashing Footfalls. We'll take a Crashing Footfalls, I guess. And then we will white ephemerate the grief. And next turn, we'll probably ephemerate the Archaeologist and try to hit something to hit with our persist, because we're going to top deck a persist next turn. So I guess we'll take 2 violence. Our opponent is very good at drawing cascaders. Annoyingly good at it. All right, go. They fetch, sure. Catch your Triome, great. Their hand is Mystery Card, Violent Outburst, and Crashing Footfalls. As long as they can never take... Ooh, it's a Misty. So their hand is stuff I'm not worried about. Great. I will choose not to block this. It might make sense for them to suspend the Footfalls here to maximize drawing an answer to the Chalice, but they don't do that. So we go to my turn. We get to Ephemerate, so we're going to hit the Archaeologist. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe since... No, I still think we hit the Archaeologist. We'll probably just take the Persist and hope to hit something else good, because we know we're getting a hit off this. It's going to be Persist. Okay. Oh, Archon just went to the bin. Okay, that's phenomenal news. All right, draw for turn. Oh, they concede. Okay. That was almost really sketchy, but it worked out. Our opponent is like insane at drawing Cascaders. Oh, it's making my head spin. Okay, game 3. All right, our hand has Chalice, Archon, a way to put Archon into the bin. Archaeologist, I think we're keeping. Our opponent has Mulligan to 6, go lower. Lower opponent, go to 5. Come on, Rhinos wins on 5 all the time, just go to 5. Oh, they stay at 6, boo. Wooded Foothills, they're not gonna suspend Footfalls, cool. We draw another Archaeologist, we'll just go Flooded Strand. We're gonna put this Chalice into play. If you have Force of Negation, so be it. They don't have anything for it. We'll probably use this Flooded Strand to fetch for Zagoth Triome. Pair it with the Hollowed Fountain, we'll have like pretty good mana. We don't have any binding, so like you don't really need to worry about it, but we want to get the tap lands out of our deck, and we'd like to have black, blue, and white, so that's the best way to do it. If this fetch land were black, it might make sense to just go get basic Swamp to play around Blood Moon a little bit, but I don't think we have that freedom at the moment. They're gonna Island Cycle Lorien Revealed. God, that card's so good. We're gonna get a basic island, or we want to get like a breeding pool? Basic island. It's basic island. Okay, go. I might actually do the same thing here. If they don't do anything with their mana, I don't want them to be able to ice me. So I might just leave this Flooded Strand uncracked, fetch Shock for Watery Grave, Shock and Hollowed Fountain, play the Archaeologist. Could be the best way to play it. And they're not doing anything with their mana, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We'll take some life, but we're not gonna get like tempo played by our opponent. Stop on our upkeep. Sure. Preordain, great. Fetch. Shock in, let's see, Watery Grave. Ouch. Shock in Hollowed Fountain. Ouch. Blue, whatever. Archaeologist. Trigger the Archaeologist. Show me some cool shit. Give me a Persist. Engineered Explosives. That is cool shit. I will take it. And that's all I got. Go. They fetch probably basic Forest. We are super not insulated against Blood Moon, so that could be how we just lose this game. But that's the way this cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Sure. Are we gonna Blood Moon me? That'd be sad. It's a Magus of the Moon. So I've actually got answers to that. Okay, sure. My turn. That is not one of them. I guess we're just kind of like holding tight until we can draw Solitude. We've already used one of our Solitudes, unfortunately. So that's a bit, those are the beats right there. Another island. Attack with Magus. I'll block, dude. If you want a Violent Outburst to trade with this, be my guest. You got it. They pass to us. Nope, they're going to do something. Fire, sure. Another Faithful Mending. All right, we're going to pass the turn. This does let us discard our Archon of Cruelty, meaning that, you know, Troll is going to be a really hot top deck, but we are in kind of a sticky spot here. All right, they're going to attack. I'm just F6ing. I don't have any plays. All right, draw gas. Not really gas. The land, meaning, is this Sunburst? It is, so I need many colors to put EE down on 3. So we pass. Come on, Solitude, you can do it. Show up in my hand. Or Troll. That would unlock Persist is a very good top deck as well. Blech. Okay, they just bounced my thing. All right, so they bounced Chalice, so we'll pitch a Faithful Mending. It's real dicey now, because now they can just make Rhinos. Luckily, I've got Engineered Explosives, so I can kind of like crack it on Rhinos and play Chalice as backup, but it's not perfect. Attack for 2. Ouch, I take 2, it hurts. Here comes Shardless. So just the Shardless and the Magus make a 3-turn clock. Yeah, I don't know how we come out ahead on this. All right, you got it, opponent. My turn. Plains, not nothing. We'll play the Plains. We will, play Engineered Explosives on 0. If they force this, we're donezo. Rats. Okay, they forced. We're just gonna call that game. We were not insulated against the Blood Moon. We got beaten by Blood Moon. Unlike the blue-black game, our opponent beat us all the way. I don't think I would have changed very many plays I made that game, but we got one more. We'll see if we can clinch the 3-2 with this Esper Reanimator deck right about now, and we win the die roll. Come on, just give me the 3-2. This hand is like so close. If we can draw a land, it gets so dark for our opponent so quickly. Like, we've got the turn 3 Archon just on lock. I think, are we nuts? Are we nutty? Am I tired enough? Am I exhausted enough to just try this? I am. Keep. Let's go. We'll draw the land. Or the troll. All right, polluted delta and go. Spire Bluff Canal, please don't Ragavan me. Oh, it's a Goblin Guide. Okay. Okay. That's great, because if this isn't a land, we'll fetch and we'll get another chance at the land. Oh, we found the land. Okay, that's so good. All right, we will take 2, and then we'll fetch for Ragavan Triome. How do you stop me here? What can you do? Untap, draw. We've got the Persist, so we'll play Watery Grave. We'll play around Skullcrack. We'll go blue, white, Faithful Mending. Draw a couple of heaters. Pitch Archon plus, I don't know, an Archaeologist. And we could grief them, but I would have to pitch my Persist, so I won't do that. Go. Why is Goblin Guide deck playing Spire Bluff Canal? Very confusing. Riftbolt entered Exile Zone. Attacking with a couple guides. Sure. Best top deck possible would be Ephemerate, but it's a preordained. Boo. My turn. Great. Here comes an Archon, dude. Sorry. You didn't really do anything wrong. It just happened. And I draw Ephemerate off the Archon? Well, I mean, don't mind if I do. Trigger the Archon again, go to 2 cards in hand, lose both your Goblin Guides. I'll go back up to 19. Sick burn deck. Go. Yeah, they just concede. All right, that was great. Let's see. Burn. Spell Pierce, Force of Negation, probably. No Subtlety, no Supreme. I don't think I want Tefiris. I don't think I want EEs. Could be Chalice. No, I'm not going to Chalice someone with my deck built the way that it is. What's not great? Maybe Sauron's Ransom's a little slow. Maybe I'm on the draw so I can pitch a troll. And I could see maybe, yeah, we'll just cut a Preordain because we're bringing in other blue cards and 1-drops and yada yada. Let's try this. All right, burn, get Archon. They're almost certainly going to be Sanctifier Invecking us. So we want to keep that in mind when we look at our opener. We want like some combination of Solitude or whatchamacallit, the other one, Leyline Binding. This hand has our colors. It's got a Force of Negation, Archon, Persist. If they don't have Sanctifier, mean things to them. I'll keep. I am that vain. Sunbaked Canyon into what? Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if they Goblin Guided us and made us draw a land right now. Because the play I'm about to make is a little bit suspicious and sketchy. But I think it's worth it. Because if they don't have a Sanctifier, I don't think they can beat it. They're going to suspend a Riftbolt. Okay, my turn. Leyline Binding. Great. Pass. That's right. You heard it here first. I'm going to discard and pitching Archon. My gambit is don't have a single copy of Sanctifier in your opener, please. All right, they Riftbolt us. We go to 17. That's fine. Go for it, dude. Just don't play a Sanctifier. That's all I ask. Fiery Islet. Can't play a Sanctifier with that mana. Another Riftbolt goes into exile. Sure. Spike me. Sure. My turn. Great. Solitude. Sweet. Play this. All right, you've got one more turn to Sanctifier me, dude. Or I'm going to persist this Archon, and it's going to get really dark. All right. We got a Riftbolt coming in hot. That's going to bring me to 11. Then maybe they kept their hand based on Roiling Vortex, in which case I can just Force of Negation it. Because Vortex wouldn't be bad. It would stop us from getting the life off the Archon's trigger. So we go to 11 here, then 10. But our Archon, of course, would still drain them, and they would discard a card. So even if it is a Roiling Vortex hand, if there's... I don't know if they have Sanctifier in their deck, because they're playing Fiery Islet, so we'll find out. All right, I take 3, sure. Down to 11. What else you got, opponent? Do you have White Source into Sanctifier? What would be really tight is if they played a Hearse here, an unlicensed Hearse, because I could Force of Negation that. Are they playing Counter Magic? Is that where we're at right now? Ugh, good thing I have 2 Persists, huh? All right, Plains, Black, White, Persist, Archon. Stop me from doing this. Bam. Archon comes into play. Trigger the Archon. Skullcrack me? Great, that's fine. Go for it. Discard a card, lose 3. Good luck, opponent. I don't know. I don't know how you come out of this. Bolt me? Why not? You got it. I'm at 5. Skewer me? Sure, dude. I'm at 2. What now? Oh, nothing? Uh-oh. Attack you. Trigger the Archon. You're going to go to 2 as well? What's the last card in your hand? Cool. Searing Blaze. I draw a card. I go to 5. You go to 2. There's no card in your deck that can actually kill me. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and... Do I need to play anything? I don't even think I need to play anything. I'll just put Watery Grave into play past the turn. Oh, I have to discard still? See ya, Marsh Flats. We brought it back. We still got the 3-2. This deck seemed pretty sweet. I need to maybe get some... Maybe not play this league super late because I'm feeling pretty exhausted right now. But that seemed great. I'm not convinced that this is better than Hyper's variation of the deck with red in it, but I did enjoy Preordain quite a bit. I don't know if this is the premier Preordain deck. It's yet to be seen. Let's update this so you can see that we are 3-2 because I am a slave to my own hubris. Okay, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.